Hello, we are Alec
and Mason. Welcome to Colchester Zoo. In 1963, in Hertfordshire Bridge, Essex, England. 60-acre parkland with lakes, home to over 160 species from across the world. It is very popular with guests, being the largest private zoo in the UK.
In today's episode, we will be bringing you the animals out of Africa. Africa is home to many different fierce and interesting animals we'll be focusing on.
The slender-tailed meerkat, perhaps the smallest of the bunch, red river hog, warthog, pygmy hippopotamus, southern white rhinoceros, reticulated giraffe, and the African elephant, the heaviest.
Charles Darwin's Survival of the Fittest suggests that animals are best adjusted to their environment for surviving and reproducing. Today we'll be looking at how these animals survive and which ones are the most fierce in Africa.
We're hoping to find out which of these animals might come out on top.
I think the rhino might come out on top.
Hold on, slow your roll. We've got to look at the characteristics and abilities first. This is your guide to the animals out of Africa.
Some people see meerkats and recognise them as the famous character Timon from The Lion King. However, we're not here to talk about those movies. We're here to talk about how these creatures' characteristics help them survive in survival of the fittest. They are highly social and form packs of 2 to 30 individuals each that occupy home ranges around 5 kilometers in area. There is a social hierarchy in which dominant individuals in a pack breed and produce offspring, and the non-breeding, subordinate members provide altruistic care to the pups. Breeding occurs around the year, peaking during heavy rainfalls, and after a gestation period of 60 to 70 days, a litter of 3 to 7 pups are born. They live in rock crevices in stony, often calcareous areas, and in large burrow systems and plains. The burrow systems, with around 15 openings, are large underground networks consisting of 2 to 3 levels of tunnels. Burrows have moderated internal temperatures and provide a comfortable microclimate that protects the meerkats in harsh weather and extreme temperatures.
However, there are encounters between members of different tribes that are overly aggressive, leading to severe injuries and often death. 90% of meerkats die to conspecific injuries, which is the highest percentage among mammals.
A group of meerkats is called a mob or a gang, and are extremely social animals who are fond of mutual grooming as well as wrestling and playing with one another. Makes sense though, since they're a large group. Anyway, they communicate by using a variety of calls to signal certain situations, such as being lost, alarm calls, pup feeding calls, guarding calls, and foraging calls. The meerkat may be the underdog of this list, but everyone likes an underdog. Meerkats are highly intelligent, but they're capable of complex, coordinated behavior. Instead of a fight, a meerkat may end up stirring up dust to defend themselves from their predator, as they will not be able to see them.
The warthog is another animal out of Africa that people would be familiar with. He is the famous companion of Timon, Pumbaa, from The Lion King. However, we'll only be focusing on the survival instincts and why they're important.
The common warthog is the only pig species that has adapted to grazing and savanna habitats. Its diet is omnivorous, composed of grasses, roots, berries, and other fruits, bark, fungi, insects, eggs, and many more. The diet is seasonably variable depending on the availability of different food items. During the wet seasons, warthogs graze on short perennial grasses. During the dry seasons, they subsist on bulbs, rhizomes, and nutritious roots. Warthogs are powerful diggers using both their snouts and feet. When feeding, they often bend their front feet backwards and move around on the wrists. Warthogs are wild pigs native to Africa and given their name due to wart-like growths on the sides of their heads. They are adapted for grazing on the grasslands.
On the other hand, the eyes on the side of their head means that they're likely to see approaching predators, and they can live up to 15 years and grow as large as 100 kilograms. Warthogs prefer grassland and woodland habitats with a water source close by. They are active in the day and hide away at night, most often in burrows that have been made by aardvarks. The warthog gets its name from the warts on its face, and these warts help protect the face and eyes from opponents' tusks when fighting. They have 2 pairs of tusks, in the smaller ones being the most dangerous.
The red river hog, also known as a bush pig, is part of the pig family, like a warthog, but it's red, for a good reason. The red river hog lives in rainforests, wet dense savannas, and forested valleys, near lakes, rivers, and marshes.
The exact delineation of its range versus that of a bush pig is unclear, but in broad terms, the red river hog occupies western and central Africa, and the bush pig occupies eastern and southern Africa. When the two meet, they are sometimes said to interbreed, although other authorities dispute this. Although numerous subspecies have been identified in the past, none are currently recognized. Red river hogs are often active during the day, but are primarily nocturnal or crepuscular. They typically live in small groups of approximately 6 to 10 animals composed of a single adult male and several adult females and their young. However, much larger groups, some with over 30 individuals, have been noted in particularly favorable habitats. The boar defends his harem aggressively against predators, with leopards being a particularly common threat. They communicate almost continuously with grunts and squeals with a repertoire that can signal alarm, distress, or passive contact.
And they have 2 overgrown teeth protruding out of their mouths as tusks. Warthogs, having the weight advantage, are able to utilize their small upper tusks that can inflict a lot of damage. The red river hog will fight by butting heads, jabbing with their snot, and whipping their tails.
The pygmy hippo is a rare and reclusive animal, unknown outside of Africa until 1840. It's closely related to the common hippo.
The skin secretes an oily pink fluid known as blood sweat, which is believed that this substance protects the hippos against water loss, infection, and sunburn. Unlike its cousins, its legs are longer, plus the head and mouth are narrower. The majority of pygmy hippos live in Liberia, neighboring countries being Ivory Coast and Guinea.
They would originally live in the savannas of Kenya, Nambia, and Zimbabwe, but a vast majority are found in South Africa. Now to the southern white rhinos are semi-territorial, and they herd together on grassy plains and mark their territory with strategically placed deposits of dung. Now I know I would not be venturing into their territory. A lot of animals don't have a chance against rhinoceros, their horn being its main threat. It essentially comes down to where this battle will happen. If in the water, a hippo would have an advantage as they are faster swimmers and have a stronger bite. But if it's in a wide open space, a rhino could potentially charge at the hippo, knocking it over and trying to finish it off with its horn.
The African elephant are the biggest land animals by weight, being able to weigh up to as much as 6,000 kilograms.
They can grow up to 4.5 meters tall and 6 meters long, only slightly larger than their Asian cousins. With the largest ever recorded African elephant weighing 10 tons, but size alone will not ensure that they secure a top spot. They play a crucial role in the ecosystem. During dry seasons, they use their tusks to dig up dry riverbeds, creating watering holes.
Would a right rhinoceros have a chance against an elephant? They can both attack with incredible brute strength and have great stamina. Perhaps that's why they don't attack each other in the wild. It would most likely come down to who strikes who first, which will most likely be the elephant, as whichever animal attacks first will have an advantage and win. An elephant could utilize its tusks and flip it over. Ultimately, the elephant is most likely to win as it's more likely to strike first. Reticulated giraffe are the largest land mammal, growing up to 18 feet in height. Reticulated giraffes live in herds of up to 10 to 20 individuals. This may increase depending on food availability. They're at their most active during the day and evening. They sleep while on their feet in the night. They mainly feed by browsing throughout the day. Acacia is known to be their favourite plant to eat, but they eat more than 100 different species of plants. Their long necks are believed to be the result that only the individuals with the longest necks get the mating rights. They are preyed upon relatively rarely because of their long necks helping to spot threats from afar, but lions sometimes prey on juveniles, as do crocodiles and spotted hyenas. They are preyed upon relatively rarely, however juveniles tend to be prey to lions, as are from hyenas and crocodiles.
Now, if we pit the largest land animal against the tallest land animal, who would win?
The giraffe weighing in at 4,200 pounds with a height of 20 feet, and the elephant weighing in at 12,000 pounds with a height of 12 feet. The giraffe's defenses include a head and neck that are too high for the other predators. The elephant's defenses are that it has a tough skin and its pure size that scares away other predators. They both have amazing qualities that they can utilize in the Battle of the Greats. The giraffe can use its powerful kick and swinging net blow, whereas the elephant can stomp and gore their opponent. The elephant would most likely hit the giraffe, rendering it helpless after it loses its balance. Then the elephant may trample over it, causing the elephant to win, making it the strongest survivor in our list today.
This has been your guidebook to Animals Out of Africa.
Tune in same time next week for our next episode, Sea and Sky.